I'm going to be on Ninja Warrior, and probably, yeah, right. You can't do that. Or what did you deal with, or what did you have to overcome with your own team? Because I think we all deal with that, especially entrepreneurs. You come up with this crazy idea, and to rally the support of the people around you is not always easy.
Yeah, it is, and thankfully, I have a good circle of friends that have always supported me, and um, I'm not sure if it was because of they were all like going, they went to 4-year colleges and things like that. I was like the one guy that didn't do that. So, but at the end of the day, I believe that they wanted what was best for me, and so they really got behind me. They knew I was really athletic, so they're like, "Hey, man, like, dude, you should crush that, man. Like, you got the speed, you got the strength, man." And my mom was, a huge supporter of mine. So, thankfully, I did have a really good team of people around me that were like, "Hey, you got this, man." And my clients at the gym and everything really helped kind of just give me more belief in myself. And so I'm truly thankful for that. And that's why, with my shirt, it's always Team Karsten because I want to represent the people that were behind me, that supported me. And if I do well in the show, it's I'm doing well for the people that were there for me as I started that journey.
Yeah. By the way, I noticed that on your website that it's Team Karsten. You've got your logo and everything. What a powerful statement, not only to make but to live behind. So, and I want to touch on that a little bit later in the show. But good for you for identifying that about you and making a statement about being a team. So, this is just more of a selfish question. Walk me through. You arrive at Ninja Warrior and it's time to compete. What's going through your mind? How are you dealing with the anxiety and the nervousness and the fact that this is going to be viewed by millions of people that day? Right? I know there's lead up, but that day it's time to perform. What'd you do?
Oh man, it was nerve wracking, anxious, anxiety level was through the roof because then everything is fine until that day when it's time. Like it gets really real, and I'm thinking of all the things that could go wrong. Like I thought I had a plan going into it. I'm starting to look and second guess that plan, and I'm like, man, this is gonna be on national TV. I gotta do this right. I got one shot here, and oh man, I was nerve wracking, but trying to act like I was confident, ready to go. But deep down, I was like, oh man, this is big, and
Mm-hmm.
and so that was probably one of the biggest I'd say experiences that I had is just that day of. I mean, it just hits different, as people say. It hit different that day.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah. I talk about in business as it relates to competitiveness and what other people are doing. I like to put the blinders on. A lot like a racehorse, you've got the blinders on, you focus on the finish line and really kind of bring that tunnel into focus to know what you're doing. And I would imagine there's a point where your nerves switch to that focus and that tunnel. Is that what happens with you, or how do you really get into that final zone? Like, okay, the buzzer's going to go off, and I got to compete now.
Yeah. So, once you walk up to that starting line, then it's like everything goes quiet, like that tunnel vision that you mentioned. And it's just you and the course. And it's like, this is me, and I got to get through this obstacle here, one at a time. And, and that definitely changed from the start of my journey versus kind of towards when, like, really the next season where I had a kind of a tipping point, a turning point. But as an athlete, I had to go back to this. Okay, hey, like track, it's kind of the same thing. Everything's fine, and you call up to that starting line. It's like, okay, everything is quiet. I got to get to here to there really quick, and you just block everything out, and you just know that hey, it's time to go. And so I was prepared for that moment, and I think that really served me well. Moving forward in my journey on Ninja Warrior is having that competitive mindset, having the tunnel vision, being focused, and visualizing yourself succeeding and
Mm.
achieving victory. I think that's super important, and that really helped me can I have the success that I've had on my career on Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, it's amazing how many things we talk about in sports, especially as successful athletes, that apply to business. You talk about that vision, that finish line, which in business case that might be the financial report is what you want it to be,
Mhm.
but also you said something really important, and that's visualization. Has that been an important part of your routine, or is that something you developed over time, or especially as a ninja warrior, visualizing, the last obstacle and getting to the finish?
Yeah, that definitely came over time. It was definitely a progression of my first time starting. It was more just kind of hype myself up. Okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to execute and go out there and get it. And then once I had that failure early on, then it really just, it made me reflect on, okay, what do I need to change here to have some success? Because it was a crapshoot my first time around, and thankfully I got a second opportunity. And then so really it was just that positive self talk that, man, like I'm here. I had this opportunity. I got to make the most of it, and I'm here for a reason. And so with that mindset going into it, I started going through the obstacles with that mindset that, hey, I'm here to overcome these obstacles. I'm representing a team. I made it bigger than myself.
Mm-hmm.
And with that in mind, that helped me kind of power through and really just give it everything that I had. And really over time, I started getting to a level, getting to the national finals, but I kept having shortcomings on like the stage one, the national finals. And so that was another time where I'm like, man, what is going wrong here? And so eventually at some point after, 5 consecutive misses, it was a part of, okay, I really have to reevaluate, revisualize what I want here and see myself not just getting past this first stage of national finals, but achieving far greater than that stage. And really just walking through, I really started planning my victory. Like, hey, after I hit the buzzer, I'm going to do this. Like, so I had to really evolve and, kind of elaborate what that success looked like. You can say, I'm going to go through this obstacle. I'm going to get the buzzer. It's very generic. Okay, how am I going to move through this obstacle? What am I going to do here? What's my celebration going to look like? Do I have a certain move planned out? And so I think that really got my mind into already having that feeling of victory and success. And then once I got there, I was already ready to celebrate and do all the things that I had planned out.
Yeah. Again, it's amazing all the parallels in sports and what you're talking about, especially when you think about obstacles. You're not familiar with them. They throw them out there. Like, okay, how do I do this? And then you're expected to perform. Oftentimes, businesses like that. I mean, we've all seen that in the last couple of years. Somebody threw COVID into the mix, and we had to all adjust how we do business. I think there's a great lesson to be learned from athletes and the pivots and turns that they have to make based on the sport and the competitiveness to parlay that to business. Are you using any of what you learned in sports in your current business life?
Oh, absolutely. And I think you made a great point there, Jim, is everything translates. You have to adjust, you have to visualize, you have to plan, you have to, expect success. And so, I took my experience on American Ninja Warrior and I took that into my career of eventually helping open up a Ninja Warrior gym and even some success while I was still training as a personal trainer. Just knowing that, hey, I'm going to do great things. Why not me? Say yes. I was saying yes to allowing myself to be that guy. Like if someone else can do it, I can do it too. And it really, that served me well. And, I preached that to my clients and also just in every opportunity that I had, I was like, you know what, this is the same thing as Ninja Warrior. Overcome, you execute, you visualize, you plan, and it should yield the same results if I just apply the same rules. And so I found that that does work, and I try to keep applying that even to this day.
It's not a cliche, but we do say it often. If they can do it, I can do it, right? And that is easy to say. And we look around. Um, my brother used to watch me race my car. I raced for Ford Motor Company for 13 years. He's like, well, if you could
Mm.
do it, little brother, I could do it. Well, he wrecked his car the first 3 races, and he realized there
Mm.
was something different there, right? But
Huh.
but taking away that cliche, like you said, you thought, oh, if they can do it, I can do it. What does the mechanics look like of that? Or what advice would you give people that are in that zone right now? Like, well, if he can do it, I can do it. What would you say to them to go after it?
So, and just really to kind of lead into that, because there was a point where I knew I could do it, but I would see other individuals have success.
Mm-hmm.
And like early on in their ninja career, while I was still kind of hitting the same bumps and having failures through that. And so at some point, I was doubting myself because I was having those repeated failures. And so it wasn't until I just had to kind of take a step back and look like, hey, we both have 2 arms, we both have 2 legs. It's got something, I got the strength, I know I got the strength. So it's got to be something else. It's the mental thing. So
Mm-hmm.
that's really where things evolved. And, it's just a matter of yeah, it is cliche. If they can do it, I can. But it really is just breaking it down to the simplest form of like, hey, it's everybody's got it's an equal playing field. And hey, what are they doing right that's working for them? And let me take after what they're doing. Maybe it's it's conversations of people that have that success that you want to be at, and getting those nuggets from them and applying it to your own self. And so I think that's where the community, especially like with Ninja Warrior, everybody's very supportive and was offering advice. And so I think also being humble enough to seek out help as well, because hey, like if they can do it, okay, well maybe I should talk to them because they're doing it, and I think that really helps us as just as an individual, really um, move forward by having that humility and putting your ego aside to know that, hey, I'm still human, I'm going to make mistakes, but also, hey, reach out and ask others what they're doing to be successful. And that definitely played a huge role in really kind of putting me up to that next level that I wanted to be at.
Man, if I could clip out the last 2 minutes, I could, show the world how to be successful because those are words of wisdom. But one thing that stood out to me that you said, and it's a little bit of a theme of what you've been saying, is you've surrounded yourself with great people, with supportive people, with people that rally behind your goals and dreams and aspirations. And I'm sure there's been value for value there where you've shown them what type of person you are honestly and authentically, and more than likely somebody that follows through. Oftentimes we surround ourselves with the wrong people. And how did you identify that you had a good network around you? Obviously, they're supportive, but it's easy to succumb to surround ourselves with bad people too. How did you avoid those pitfalls?
Really had to look at, the people that I was, my circle and the people that I were associated with, what are they doing? Are they moving forward in life? Do they have a positive message in general? And so I really had to look at the people that I was around because, you hear the philosophy of, you are the average of the five people that you're associated with.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to really look at that and see, okay, who are my people here? And so, okay, yeah, these guys legit, these guys are moving forward, they're forward thinking. And, with that, you're going to evolve as well. If they're at a higher level, maybe professionally, then you want to raise up to their level as well. And just knowing what I wanted and knowing that I need to make sure that I'm staying with those that want the best for me and that want to move forward, and also cutting out some of the stuff that I think that might be holding back. Because I know there was a time in my life that I was just kind of just hanging out doing this, and those guys weren't moving forward,
Mm-hmm.
and I could realize that. I could see myself out spinning my wheels, and so just really looking at things objectively, and just being real with myself. You eventually find out the things that you need to do. It's just a matter of, are you going to move and execute on those things that are going to help you, move forward in the right direction.
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting point worth making again and identifying in our own lives. I'm in a elected position here where I live, and my wife and I are happy to share our faith in God with people, and we've lost some friends recently because of those two things. And, for me and my discussions with my wife, I just said, look, they're not aligned with our values. And although they might have been short-term friendships, they really weren't who we were as a couple and as a team and what we wanted to stand for in our own lives. And I think it's tough for us to all identify, especially if we're enjoying our time, but identify those people that are dragging us down. And good for you to make some moves and know exactly what you aligned with. I absolutely love the pictures of your mom on Instagram that you've posted. She's cheering you on at the Ninja events, and great photos of you and her. What is your relationship like with your mom? I know you've alluded to it a couple times here.
Yeah, it's great, man, and that's she's been such a huge role in my success and my mental and just how I want to treat people in general. Because she's a teacher for 30 years, and for someone to do that, they don't make a lot of money. They do it for the passion of helping and educating others. And so I saw that just throughout my life. I didn't really pick up on it until later. And so when I saw that, I was like, I want to be like more like my mom. She's caring, loving, does for others. And so that's why, we really became strong, especially in those times where I didn't know where I was wanting to go and move forward in life. She was always there to support me and just, hey, like, I'm here for you. I believe in what you decide to do. And so that really helped me kind of